Everyone is trying to be unique and stand out, so these extremes are becoming more common than we wish. Tattoos and piercings are nothing to freak out about. Not unless you take things over the top and start tattooing your eyeballs. People are pushing their bodies to the limits. From a non-binary human dragon to a human orc, here are radical body modifications that seem too extreme. Number 10. Lucky Diamond Rich. Meet Lucky Diamond, the man who holds the Guinness Book of Records for the most tattooed man. You can imagine how many tattoos he had to get to win this title. It's claimed that over 200% of his body is inked, including his gums and genitals. In some places, he has 3 or 4 layers of ink tattooed due to having run out of body space. His natural body color is beyond unrecognizable from all the tattoos. He was a street artist and performer before, juggling chainsaws, riding a mean unicycle. At 28, he got his first bodysuit tattoo, which he filled with new layers of tattoos as the years went down. He spent an estimated 1,000 hours in the tattoo artist chair to achieve this title. Now, in his old age, Lucky Diamond is stunned by some of the transformations people have put themselves through over the years. Maybe somebody someday is going to finally beat his record. Number 9. Human Barbie Doll. While other girls played with Barbie dolls and left their admiration of the doll in their childhood memories, Valerie Lukianova just couldn't let it go. She was obsessed with the doll and wanted to be just like her. The exaggerated body proportion of Barbie shaped the popular conception of physical beauty for many people, and Valeria in particular. To her, she wasn't beautiful until she became Barbie, and that was her inspiration. Though she did achieve her look, she was impossibly blonde and impossibly shaped. Trust me, you'll confuse her with a standing mannequin when you see her standing in the streets. Meeting Valeria Lukianova is the closest you'll ever come to Barbie in the real world. Despite her looks, the model claims that she's only had one modification done to her body, and that's a breast enhancement. She said that she's naturally slender due to the daily gym workouts and a particular diet, but photos of her younger self state otherwise. She initially seemed far from becoming a real-life Barbie. Even professional body modification doctors have contradicted her claim by saying that such a facial structure and figure isn't achievable naturally. If she did get body modification, then it must have cost her an arm and a leg, don't you think? Number 8. Blue Tears. How about blue eyes for a change? A tattoo model and Instagram influencer, Amber Luke, flaunts her blue eyes. They look so unique and sometimes even match with her dyed blue hair. But they came at a cost. They led to her becoming temporarily blind. She was in her early 20s when the disaster hit. Over the years, Luke has done many body modifications to transform herself. She had a boob job and bum lift, though her most extreme change can be seen in her face, where she has several piercings and lots of tattoos. Luke shared with her fans how painful it was when her eyeball was penetrated with ink. She became temporarily blind for 3 weeks and even cried blue tears. No hard feelings, but isn't it pitiful how people go through such pain just to look extraordinary? Number 7. The Cartoon Dream. We all love cartoons, but people like Pixie Fox probably love them more than us. Her love for cartoons, especially female cartoons, is so extreme that she went to great lengths just to have an impossibly tiny waist, inflated cleavage, and doll-like facial features. We don't blame her though, since the female cartoon characters represent the idealization of the female body. I mean, who wouldn't want such? Inspired by cartoon characters like Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Hollywood from Cool World, Pixie did everything she could until she got what she wanted. She had 6 of her lower ribs removed in a bid to shrink her waist from 24 inches to a record-breaking 14 inches. She also had a nose job done to look like a fairy and had her ears sewn to look like an elf. In total, she had 200 surgeries and used over $119,000 to achieve her cartoon dream. Number 6. The Human Satan with No Ears. Michael Farrell Prado has proved to us with the right body modifications you could be anything you want to be, even the devil. Though no one has ever seen this mythical being, we've all had our imaginations about what it might look like. Throughout history, People have pictured Satan as a red-hued human with cloven hooves, tails, talons, webbed hands, and even wings. Though Michael hasn't achieved his look, he's not too far from getting the body he wants. He's cut off body parts like parts of his nose, his ringer, and even recently his ears to mark the end of COVID. All these, plus 4 horns on either side of his head and several implants under the skin of his forehead, are part of the modification of becoming the human Satan. Michael plans to one day win the Guinness World Record for the planet's most modified man. Will he manage to outshine Lucky Diamond and all the other people? Only time will tell. Number 5. Like a Picasso's painting. How about looking like a painting? We've seen and heard people making body modifications to look like dolls, cartoons, and even the devil. But this goes beyond expectations. Eli Inc. wanted to look like an abstract character in one of Picasso's paintings. We all love Picasso's paintings, but looking like them just defines how crazy human desires can go. It's taken 10 years for Eli to finally dye his entire body black, including his eyeballs. He's also implanted stretches in his nose and under his bottom lip as part of the painting project. Eli plans on dedicating the rest of his life to achieving his look. I think Eli should have a sit-down with the traditional African people and show them their ways, don't you think? I mean, they seem to be closer to achieving their look. Number 4. The Human Dragon. It all started with a dream Richard Hernandez, now TM at Legion, had about a snakebite. This dream is believed to have turned him into a reptoid and led to a dramatic physical transformation. Legion believes that the snakes which were biting them in their dreams were injecting them with venom as they make their way to them. They have since had ear removal, tongue splitting, countless tattoos, and dental implants to give them dragon-like teeth. The modification surgery has cost them more than $83,000, yet they're nowhere near finished. Surprisingly enough, Legion plans to have a penectomy in a bid to become the world's first and only genderless dragon. Their goal is to achieve their transformation by 2025. This look is the only way to deal with their spiritual, emotional, and physical pain and anguish, and you could say possible mental illness. They hope that after it's all over, they'll be happy with their appearance. Number 3. Real-life orc. Inspired by the fictional monster, the orc from The Lord of the Rings, Rico Ledesma, a Brazilian tattoo artist, has done several body modifications to have such a unique appearance. Before the orc modification project, Rico had covered 85% of his body with tattoos and subdermal piercings. The orc project came by later when people told him he looked like an orc. To perfect the image of the orc, he widened his nasal septum with the help of a scalpel and fake fang teeth, as well as a tongue split. His body and eyeballs were also tattooed. Lucky for him, all these modifications have cost him almost nothing, and his wife, who's a body piercing professional, has done the majority of them. While he's proud of his distinct appearance, he admits that not all his friends and family are accepting. The fake teeth also make it difficult for him to chew. Number 2. Corset piercing. If you thought you've seen it all, wait till you see these ladies who've corset pierced themselves. Yes, you heard that right. Corset piercing is now becoming a thing among young women. Many years ago, during our great-grandmother's time, corsets were an integral part of women's wardrobes. They were worn as undergarments to hold and train the torso into a desired shape. Though the garments are back, some people are taking the fashion a bit too far, and instead, they're piercing their back and having it laced into the corset. Oh, just thinking about that. One San Jose model, Monique Miller, has had her back pierced and laced more than 2 times. She claims that the corsets outline her curves and give her an hourglass look. Inspired by her looks and other people's looks, young ladies are following the trend and wearing them to prom, weddings, and even on Halloween. Oh, Halloween, of course, right? Number 1. The Skull of 2 Faces. It looks like tongue splitting has become a thing now. Raiden Dos Caras, also nicknamed the Skull of 2 Faces, is a Colombian who had his first tattoo when he was just 12 years old. Like most people on this list, Raiden felt the need to have more body modifications than that. Raiden has split his tongue and removed his ear just to become the most modified person in Latin America. He's since undergone 20 body modifications, and he says he's lost count of how much it cost him. The many procedures caused anesthesia to no longer have the same effect it did the first time, and thus caused great pain while going through them. Raiden has a wife and 2 daughters who support him in all he does. Given $1 million, which body modification would you try? Until next time, adios.